SiN is a game I like to think was lost in time. SiN is very advanced for its time, with puzzles and details which gave more immersion than ever before. One small problem: it came out 10 days before Half-Life, one of the biggest revolutions in PC gaming. Today, courtesy of a team of video game archaeologists, we unearth SiN. SiN was developed by Ritual Entertainment, who used to go by Hypnotic Interactive, and had previously made the first DLC pack for Quake, Scourge of Armagon. They used their experience with the id Tech 1 engine on SiN, though development moved to id Tech 2, with Quake 2 was released in 1997. Activision published the game in November 1998, and it got good reviews from media at the time, and got an expansion later on. However, as I said, it will be forgotten for the most part, as Half-Life stole the show from every FPS game around, similarly to Elden Ring, more recently overshadowing the Horizon Zero Dawn sequel, but at least SiN's developers didn't whine on social media. However, in March 2020, Nightdive Studios acquired the rights for and re-released SiN as SiN Gold, thoughtfully including the Wages of SiN expansion and quality of life features for modern systems like widescreen resolutions. SiN follows your usual FPS gameplay structure, similarly to Half-Life. Your enemies are mostly hit scanners, but you can take a lot of damage on normal difficulty. There's a rudimentary item inventory for pickups, like in Duke Nukem 3D, for glow sticks which can light the way and extra keycards. You need to press E to loot bodies for ammo and health pickups, so you end up running around scattered corpses spamming the E button.
Already got it.
You'll hear that voice line a lot. Actually, you'll hear all the voice lines a lot. From you.
Already got it. Already got it. Already got it. Nope, don't need it. No, already got it. Nope, don't need it. Damn.
And also from the more common enemies. I wouldn't say it really gets annoying, but you do notice it. The weapons feel great. The assault rifle is very cool, the shotgun is meaty, the LMG is brutal. The light machine gun even has a grenade launcher as a separate weapon, like the one from Quake. The sniper rifle you get later on is powerful, and has a fancy unfolding animation when you equip it.
Now here's some firepower.
The harpoon gun is perfect for underwater action later on, and great for the mutated fish enemies. The rocket launcher is perfect for the tougher cyborg enemies, and you get a lot of ammo for it later on. There's also a powerful energy weapon you need to find 3 parts for throughout the game that works a bit like the BFG.
What's this?
Looks like a part of some kind of weapon system. Hey, see if you can find more pieces.
Because of the Quake 2 engine not using skeletal animation, the weapon models move around a little like they're made of pulsating flesh. The game's bosses are uncommon but quite fun. One of them has you run around avoiding the boss while you turn valves to stop the city being poisoned before you can kill it for good. There's quite a roster of enemies too. Most are generic grunts, but you'll see shotgunners with more health, machine gunners with even more health, and rocket cyborgs. Most enemies are hit scanners, as I said, but they have low enough health to be taken out quickly. The only enemy that I really hate is the sniper, because you usually only know they're there as you lay dying on the floor because of a lead overdose.
JC.
Blade is down. I repeat.
And unless you also have the sniper too, you won't want to waste precious rockets on them. I recommend quick saving often and sniping them with a pistol if you don't have the sniper yet. Even with the sniper they're a hassle. Because of the sniper's long animation, you can't just pull out and quickscope like you would a railgun in Quake 3. You need to already know where they are.
JC, give me a rundown of the layout of this place. What I need to get done here.
Wait, I'm looking into the report.
The levels have a lot of interactivity to them, which really helps with the immersion. Many of the in-game computers can be interacted with to cancel alarms, open doors and deactivate security systems. You'll even need to type in passwords like it's Deus Ex. A lot of the puzzles are quite cool too, such as using a wrecking ball to open up a new area, and turning the dials on a bank vault. They're quite creative. For example, you need to analyse a sample in the labs level, so you put it in a bioscanner and use the nearby computer to start the machine. The world building also extends to little details scattered around the environment. I saw a lot of pinboards in the game, which are mostly just pop culture references, but none were the same. The game has a few basic stealth segments. There's one early on where you start with nothing and have to infiltrate a lab, which was annoying at first, but in later missions you can find silencers for the pistol and assault rifle to help. It uses the Far Cry model 6 years beforehand, where you can kill alerted guards before they can reach an alarm panel and call in reinforcements. The game also has a few cool cinematic moments. There's one early on where you get trapped with a very strong enemy in a tight space, something I saw more recently in Wolfenstein The New Order. It also has a vehicle segment where you break through enemy defences on a quad bike, where it doesn't really control well with the keyboard.
Damn. I'm gonna make you my bitch.
Blade is down.
The game's story is pretty cliche, but then again, Half-Life's story was as generic as they come, and look how that went. You play as Blade, a corporate cop in the future, who with the help of hacker JC, uncovers a conspiracy involving a designer drug and a pharmaceuticals corporation. It's told mostly through radio calls, but there are a few janky little cutscenes around, with the FMV at the end. It gets pretty wild, with cheesy acting and a villain with what may be one of the first examples of 3D jiggle physics, and not just because of the old engine.
Damn.
The main story is much longer than I expected, with around 30 missions, clocking in at around 9 hours total. In that time, you'll explore the urban sprawl, multiple secret labs, an oil rig, a nuclear missile silo and quite a few sewers. Most of the missions have secondary objectives, but there's not really much incentive to do them other than the challenge. Though certain secondary objectives let you skip some levels or play different levels, such as going through the geothermal plant instead of the jungle pass near the end. You can also skip some of the later aqueduct levels too, if you take the right exit in the first one. The primary objectives are similar to Half-Life in that they make progression fit into the game's world. For example, launching the rocket engine to kill the tentacle monster and open the way down in Blast Pit. SiN does this too, such as changing the flow of water in the aqueducts to transport you to the waterworks. But it falls back on the usual keycard system too much, quite annoying since the cards are easily missed. If you want to play the game yourself, you'll need to do a little extra setup. The methods I describe here assume you're using SiN Gold, available on Steam and on GOG. The first thing you'll want to do is type your name in when it asks, check the controls section, and set your resolution and video settings as you'd like. If you try and get in game or try the training level, you'll notice that the game is really dark. You'll need to change your config.cfg file. Head to the game's files like on screen, choose the folder with the name you typed in, and change gl_modulate to 1.7 and vid_gamma to 0.68. These are what I used thanks to this GOG forums user. Even with these fixes, the game can get very dark in vents and night levels, so I'll link the GOG forum post, which included a Fulbright command bound to a key to help, that I wasn't able to get working. I didn't need it, but it would have been helpful. If you want to change your FOV from the painful default of 60, which is actually sickening on widescreen settings, open the console from in-game with the tilde key, and type FOV, then your desired FOV value. I hope you all find that easy enough. On its own merits, I think SiN is well worth revisiting today, especially with the resurgence of classic first-person shooters as of late. I'd strongly recommend it to fans of Duke Nukem 3D and Half-Life, as I'd describe it as a combination of the two, with Half-Life's storytelling and Duke Nukem's highly detailed levels. I recommend you wishlist it and wait for a Steam sale, so you can grab SiN Gold for a bargain price of £2. It's on GOG too, so if you want to try the first few levels before you buy, wink wink, then you can. Before I go, I want to thank everyone who watched my Motorstorm video. That is a hell of a lot of views. Thanks also to my 500 subscribers. Your support is appreciated. I hope you don't mind the shorter video. I want people to play it themselves, so I didn't really go into detail on the story. There's more stuff in the pipeline, possibly related to a spiritual successor to a PlayStation exclusive franchise, so stay tuned. If you have any obscure games you want me to check out, comment them below and I'll see what I can do. Thanks for watching.